seen a lot of bankers, and I've seen a lot of cops. I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all of the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I've felt a lot of women refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take the world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take for your money and whatever else bring. And I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Making such a fuss, and I don't think I understand what's come of all of us, and I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. 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 Guitar Players Planet.
Down by the water, maybe out the sun, maybe out the daughter when the music man calls. That's when I gotta play. For the things I never had,
Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way the music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the land of new. Oh, na 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 na. That I have lost my friend. Got the sunset on the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must go back before it's too late. You're afraid, you're feeling alone. Time and space can never unfold. The holidays can ring in your fear. The ghost embrace can only mean tears. And I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to land of new. Oh, na 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 na. Sitting at the lake, I'm feeling confused, but I had my guitar, so I played this blues. But I'm afraid, what might be true, that I might never be back Seems to me that I've lost my friend. Got the sunset off the highway again. Then I get lost on a long summer day. I must be back before it's too late. Before it's too late.
Someone to take me down at night. Someone to make my day. New revelation fills my soul. Oh, I can waste away. You distracting my attention. You're all that's on my mind. You not looking for perfection, but you're too hard to find. Now the first night is coming, and I know what to do. You know that nothing feels sweeter than someone else. you. Oh, you. All right. Where did my color go? Got your head in the sand. You can't be in control using a powerful hand. I wanna be you, I wanna see you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hot little cutter, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. All right. Cat learns to ring a bell. Rat gets free from the maze. We can be taught to love. We've got to learn a new way. I wanna see you, I wanna be you. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. Yeah, you're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, that little color is black and white and blue. Black and white and blue. Yeah. I wanna be, I wanna see, don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to sell me, don't try to say it's too late. Push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hot little color is black and white and blue. Yeah, black and white and blue.
Hey, and that's not Eric Watson. We screwed it up again. How you doing? What's going on, everybody?
Hello. Hello. I'm Eric.
Hello. What's going on? Are you getting a lag at all, or no?
I'm getting a lag, not with you guys, but with me. There's a big lag.
Oh man, we have to sort that out.
Yeah, that's okay. The video quality on my shot doesn't look very good, and it's delayed. Does
Looks
it look
good
good
over
though?
here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
it's fine.
Okay. Good.
So cheers,
Yeah.
welcome to everybody. What's going on? We're here on another Friday night. We got a special drop in tonight with Sean Nielsen from Visible Dark is hanging out with us. Decided to come. He looks good. Everyone's saying you look good here. So there you go, Sean.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. So we're coming out. We're literally we are 29 days away from Astropalooza. So it is getting a little nerve wracking to me, but it's going to be interesting
because I don't even know what I'm going to present.
Oh,
I haven't figured it out yet.
You got 30 days. You'll be all right. Just send me a title and a logo. That's all I need.
All right. When I figure it out, I'll let you know.
There you go. And you're good. You and I talk all the time, so you can tell me the day before, and I'll throw it up there. So
yeah.
But
true enough.
Yeah. So we got a couple of things going on. I just spoke to Michael Ritchie from I don't know if I'm sure you've heard about the LAS burglarized observatory in Ohio that I've been talking about.
Yep.
He's going to be on the show Wednesday night. We're doing a little fundraiser for him. So everybody come out and bring their checkbooks. So
wasn't that the one that you said Wednesday night to support the burglary or something like that?
Yeah. Not support the burglary, support the observatory. I think we got Eric that popped on. If everybody just would give me a second, I think we got the 5 up. Let's see. So because I don't think Scott's showing up tonight, so let me just set this up real quick. And
Scott! Oh man,
I'm sure he'll be here sooner or later. But,
how did he fare with the storm? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's got something going on, which means why he's not here.
Sure,
but
yeah.
I haven't heard anything bad. Usually he would tell me if something bad is going on, but
okay.
He
All
could
right.
just
well,
have
good.
no no internet or whatever. Oh, you got the lava lamp and the Darth Vader in the background. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I see Darth Vader in the shadows. I'm like,
Right. Yeah, I'm looking for a Captain Kirk 18-inch doll. If anyone knows of one, let me know.
Oh,
I got to match this. Darth Vader sitting here, but I got no Captain Kirk.
That's 18-inch. That's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I know, it's really tough to find. That's how big the Darth Vader is. So I'm trying to keep it similar.
Everybody's like coming online, so hold on, give me 1 second, everybody. I'm sorry about the dead air here, everybody. We got
Who's doing Darth Vader? That was a crappy impression.
That was Eric.
Yeah, I know. I could tell.
We'll just switch it. The names are going to be screwed up, but I can't do this on the fly like this. And there you go. The names will be screwed up again, but there you go.
Oh, there he is.
Hopefully knows who
Trying to
they
get
are.
everybody online here, and I'm trying to get the names right, and do everything on the fly. It's just not working right.
Yeah.
So things are a little.
I was Eric Watson for a short while.
Yeah. So we just got.
John, I'm black and I'm proud.
Oh, and we also got to say Happy Veterans Day to my friend.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And to everybody else out there, obviously that's a veteran. Thank you so much for your service every year. And unfortunately, unlike last year, I became unprepared. Usually I have the nice service picture of Eric to show on the screen. And unfortunately, I'm unprepared tonight, so I don't have it for this time. So,
well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and thank you to all of my fellow veterans, brothers and sisters in arms. Appreciate everyone, answering the call when they needed to be answered. So
absolutely,
appreciate it.
Absolutely, and and Simon Lewis, who's also a service member in his country.
He's a He's a Kiwi serviceman.
He's a Kiwi. Yes, he is.
He's a Kiwi. He's a water Kiwi.
And who was Tyler? I'm sorry, is Tyler a service member or no?
I don't think so.
No, he's not. I don't think. I thought he was for a second, but
I
maybe
could
not.
be wrong.
But
how is
yeah,
everybody doing on this Friday?
everybody's going great. We got Sean with us tonight.
Yeah, I see, man.
Thought I'd pop in, say hi, see what's going on. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
usually sitting in the chat, right? So I thought I'd stop being a stalker and actually doing.
You know, we're back to our normal non-face-to-face routine now. So
Yeah, no, it was great. It was great seeing you when you came up. That was fantastic. We got to do it again sometime soon.
yeah, I'm ready once the weather breaks up there, because you guys get some crazy winters. I'm not even gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
even
know.
gonna try. Maybe I'll actually fly and just like fly into Toronto. You know, I don't know, but
You can, well, whatever. You can come visit anyway. So what if there's some snow? I'll take you with the dogs, and we can go for a sled. How's that sound?
Like an actual dog sled? Are you serious?
Yeah, really. Yeah, I'll break it out. Yeah, I'll get the dogs out and we'll go.
Dude, all I know is that I got to go into Toronto, and we'll sit there and we'll watch Strange Brew, you and me. You know.
There we go. Yeah, here we go.
Dog sled.
Yo, AstroWorld tonight was filmed in 3B.
Order
3 beers and looks good. We should do the sponsors. I'm a little bit late, so I do apologize to everybody. We should do the sponsors, because we can't do this without not only the corporate sponsors but also the member sponsors. And we do have a new guest that we booked. That's not on the list, but we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, we got all these sponsors. We do all these giveaways. I'm just gonna throw their stuff on the screen here, and there we go, and there we go. So thank you to our corporate sponsors, and Woodland Hills, who gives us a lot of cash to give away to everybody. We've given away two $250 gift certificates in December. So if you're not involved in any of these giveaways, please go to astroweb.com and sign up. We'll talk about the Astropalooza giveaways in a second, because they're a completely different monster. So thank you also to our Red Giant level sponsors, Prima Luce, Camera Concepts, and Optolong. Optolong was super generous to us yet again. I got to say thank you to Jessica and Stella over at Optolong, who found their way to give us another set of 3nm SHO and LRGB, all 2 inches, to give away for Astropalooza. So thank you to Optolong, Jessica, and Stella. Thank you so much. Prima Luce, thank you so much for the Eagle, and Camera Concepts, a lot of cash from them as well. So at the Red Giant level, awesome. Masters of Pixinsight and IP for AP, I can't say, I can't say enough. They've given us about $3,000 worth of classes and giveaways. We give away, and we're going to give away one tonight, a free Masters of Pixinsight Workshop tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, the next one is Photons to Photos, number 10. So check it out on mastersofpixinsight.com. Our member sponsors, super huge on Patreon. Thank you so much. Soon to be coming, the Off the Rails member, soon to be coming for the everybody was saying I needed a level bigger than Quasar. We're going to have one. I don't expect anybody to join it, because it's going to be crazy enough that I don't even know who would even join it. Who would pay $50 a month to come listen or support the thing? I hope you do, but I don't know anybody that would. But so thank you so much to Quasar members. Yeah, but you know what? We're tiny guys. We're the little guys. Black Hole members, Sean is with us in the chat. So Charity, George, and Mike, again, big time, huge. We got 30 members on Patreon. It's out of control. So that's really nice. Everybody at the Red Giant level, main sequence level, and Protostar members. So thank you so much. And if you don't have a little P next to your name, that means you haven't migrated to Patreon yet. So please consider moving to Patreon and make my life a little bit easier in order to track all the perks and everything that I give out to everybody. So please do that to me. This Wednesday coming up, we got Michael Ritchie coming in from who's the president of the Lima Astronomical Society, the observatory that got burglarized earlier in the year. The one that I went down and presented told them that AstroWorld members actually funded all their eyepieces to be replenished through membership dues, pretty much, and we were able to do that for them. So he's going to be on. We're going to be doing a fundraiser as well for them. You could do your fundraising right to their GoFundMe page, and it'll be on their show in the comments below. We have the Thanksgiving trifecta coming up. We have Dr. Christian Sass, Charles Bracken, and Dr. Whitby coming in. All authors and iTelescope, and they're all buddies, so it's going to be a lot of fun having them all on at the same time. So don't miss that show while you're getting the turkey ready and everything. So there you go. December 7th, we have Jeff Dickerman from Optech Inc. And he's going to come and talk about his Gemini rotators and focusers, the FTX series, all that kind of stuff. Got a lot flat field power. He's got a lot of stuff going on over there, and he's going to be showing us his new products. December 14th is not up there. We just signed up Craig Stocks to come on from Utah Desert Remote Observatories. He's going to be on, and January, look out for the return of Don Goldman. Is going to be on the show. I'm going to try sometime in January, so that's going to be one I'm interested in. But and then don't forget in December we got Astropalooza with Sean Nielsen here, Amy Little, Molly Wakeling, Nico Carver, AstroWorld's own Josh and Ernie, Masters of Pixinsight, Dr. Sass, Charles Bracken, Adam Block. It's ridiculous. Go to the website and sign up for the door prizes. It's a different monster. You have to go to the Astropalooza site to go do that. And that's astroworldweb.com/Astropalooza. So do that, and then you'll get in there. We got a lot of good stuff going on as far as giveaways, the Optolongs. We got the Visible Universe hardcover from Charles Bracken and Max Whitby. I'm working on some other things. Also, Adam Block is going to be giving something, unsure what yet. But anybody else who wants to throw something in the pot, make it sweeter, please let me know. And then
I'll put something in. Yeah, so I'll get back to you on it. I'll put something in. I just don't know what.
That's what we need.
Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely. And throw the visible dark logo and everything on there. So it'll be kind of cool.
There you go.
And let's see, we're going back to the 5-up because I wasn't sure. Let's see.
Somebody in the viewer membership has an 18-inch Captain Kirk doll somewhere.
Yeah,
no doubt. Someone has to have seen one somewhere.
I do not. I actually have. Let's see. Where is it? Let me get rid of this. There we go.
Check the closet of death, Dan. Maybe there's one.
No. All of my Star Trek and Star Wars collectibles are in a temperature-controlled room, off-site.
Really?
Off-site.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Wow, that's dedication. Wow.
Everything is off-site. I purchased, and you know what? I'll bring it on the show one because I like to show stuff like that on the show. I bought, I guess, in the early 90s, I found original Mr. Spock and a Klingon. 6-inch dolls with like the polyester shirt and everything in the box.
Yeah.
In
Really?
the box,
Wow.
mint condition 1973 action figure.
Wow.
And I still have it. So now it's what? 50 years old?
50 years, yeah.
It'll be 50 years next year.
Sure, yeah.
I bought it for $20 in like the early 90s. Both of them.
Have you checked to see what it's worth now?
Probably worth about $23.
Not that you get rid of it, but about
$23, something like that.
Do you still have your Hot Wheels Raceway?
What was that, Pete?
Do you still have your Hot Wheels Raceway?
Oh no, I got rid of that. That I don't have no more. That I don't have anymore.
Hold it, Dan. What about the NHL hockey games where you kind of had the movers and the goalie that moved back and forth?
No, like the foosball for hockey. No, I didn't have. You know, they came out with a commercial that they had the foosball player. You know, when they went into the corner and you had to jam the thing to move the thing because it couldn't get to it. But anyway, so we're here about astrophotography. We're not even here about anything else. So just, you know,
we're off the walls already, man.
I mean, you know, geez, you know, it must be a Sean Nielsen. I mean, I don't understand what early one,
Just blame me. Everyone else does.
usually, you know, just because you're here, you get blamed for it because I usually get blamed for everything. So,
we got a question here.
Is that the fun question?
The fun question.
The fun question by the DB.
Yes. In terms of equipment, disregarding personal well-being. Hey, if you're gonna risk it, go big. Go big and go big.
Disregarding personal well-being.
Yes. What is the coldest ambient temperature, either Fahrenheit or Celsius, you've collected photons, and at what point do you not bother to attempt to image?
We could go around because I know tolerances differ.
Tolerances do differ.
Personal tolerances.
Yeah.
Differ.
The coldest that I've imaged in is minus 28 Celsius, which is about minus 18 Fahrenheit, I think. Is that correct?
I think that's a winner for me. I can't.
I didn't even have to pull the camera. I just let it run. It was crazy cold, yeah. And now that's not being out there all the time, right? I mean, that's just running out and running back in, sort of thing. So I even did it with a T-shirt on, ran out and did some things, and then ran back in again.
That's crazy. That's great.
That's Canadian, buddy. That's Canadian.
He was out in shorts and a tank top.
Some damn prospects, I tell you, man, they're tough as nails.
I anything under like 10 degrees. I think I've done like 11 or 12. But that's Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius. I mean,
I don't know either. Yeah,
I have no idea.
That's a warm, sunny day.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to look it up. 12 degrees Fahrenheit. It's got to be like.
It's minus 11.
Thank you. Minus 11.
Yeah.
So
that's short weather here.
So that's it. Anything under that, I won't go off site under 30 degrees. I won't go off site.
Yeah.
Under 30.
Yeah, I don't know.
Too much.
Yeah, I don't know what the coldest I've been when I've been out to a dark site is. There's been some cold nights. I would basically wear multiple layers and get in the vehicle and try to stay warm, kind of thing. Those kind of nights. But I don't know what temperature it was at that point. But here I know because being at home and imaging now, it's so much nicer being able to just power everything on and go inside and control it from the computer. So the only problem I have right now though with the Astro setup is my remote desktop. It is so laggy. And it kicks out and I have to log back in and stuff. And there's like no consistency. Sometimes it works great. And then some nights I can't even log into the telescope computer. So I have no idea what's going on with that. I just been banging my head against the wall in frustration with it.
Is that because of the cold or is that because of the Wi-Fi?
No, it's probably, that's the funny thing. It indicates that the signal strength is good for the Wi-Fi. And I've tried various methods. I've even hardwired and I still have the problem. So I don't know why it's reacting like that.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah, so it sort of prohibited me from, doing any recordings or anything like that would revolve around Nina and stuff like that because I can't even show it because it just doesn't work. What I basically do is I log in, I get about 5 or 10 seconds, I have to do something real quick and then it kicks me out and then I log back in and do the next step and I keep going until it's all built.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think you need to upgrade your computer from Windows 98 Special Edition. And
Windows XP.
You definitely want to get that sorted out.
I was going to say XP, but
311, dude.
311.
Yeah, 311 Windows for work groups. You still get running off of 3.5 inch floppies.
I remember 3.5, 5 1/4.
3.5. I remember 8 inch. Do you remember the 8 inch floppies? Those big ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
those were pretty.
was like this. It was like this.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was just like that.
And you had to be careful because it had that little loop in there that read the little vinyl like disc, and sometimes it would get stuck. It would get stuck, and you kind of had to smooth it in and push it in. It's crazy. I was gonna say DOS. I remember DOS 2.1.
Yeah,
I remember DOS too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, DOS 2.1 for sure. But getting to the question, I think the coldest I've ever tried, I think it was at maybe around 0 or -5 with the wind chill. You know, here in Illinois, it gets pretty windy.
Yeah, it does.
Fortunate, but fortunately, I have good weather break, good wind breaks with the fence and a few trees and stuff. But yeah, I want to say I think it was around 0 and maybe 5, 10 negative with the wind chill. And this was even me actually having to shovel a pathway to get to my scope.
Now, I did that last winter where I had to shovel around. We had about a foot of snow, and I just shoveled a little path around it. I got a photo with my drone like over it, and you could see like all the snow, and then there's just like one little patch where my telescope was at. I think the coldest I did, there was a lunar eclipse. I don't know, I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago, January. And I went out for that, and that was stupid cold. And wind chill. We set the van up in the driveway, so it was like a windbreak, and I just opened the doors up, and because I was still using a tripod, and I just had my DSLR and zoom lens on it, and I like set that outside of the van, and I kind of went around the corner, like inside the van, and with the little remote switch, so I was like inside, away from the the cold, but just. I think I managed about an hour, and I had blankies and pillows and the whole setup in there.
Nice.
But,
nice. I remember I had recently gotten the AVX, which was my first equatorial mount, the Advanced VX. It was my first equatorial mount, and I purchased the polar scope. You put in the back of it, and I'm learning how to try to polar align. And it is like it's after Christmas, because I guess it's like after Christmas, and it's just freezing. I think there was already snow. There was snow on the ground and everything, and I'm just literally I'm on my knees trying to lean over and looking, trying to find Polaris and trying to line this stupid thing up. And oh my gosh! And here I am, and every once in a while I would have to take off my gloves and try to adjust things. And then hurry up and try to put them back on.
Finger things.
Oh my gosh, it was awful.
And I spent many a night doing exactly what you're doing, and I thank God when it came out, it was like revolutionary for me, that the Pole Master when it came out, and I mean that made half the frustration of the night, especially when you were imaging with a Schmidt, and you're sitting there with the scope, and you're over on the side trying to get your head underneath the scope. If you didn't have a polar scope, it was horrible. It was horrible. And once that Pole Master came out, that took like, oh yeah, I mean it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. I didn't have a Pole Master. I only got one about a year ago for my setup, and I was using the polar alignment routine inside EQ Mod, which actually works really nice. Yeah, you basically tell it where Polaris is, and then it goes and points to where it should be, and you manually just move Polaris into the little circle, and Bob's your uncle at that point, and you're ready to go. I used that for years, and it was really well, but it was getting, as I got older, it got more tough to kneel down and get up again and stuff. So
it just gets worse, man. It just gets worse.
Yeah, I've got a little toolbox. It's about this big, and I sit myself right on top of that toolbox, and it sets my eye right up to that polar alignment scope. and kneeling is done, but it's like it's just a perfect size, at least for me. But it is a perfect size to sit right there and no more kneeling, because I will not do that.
Yeah.
And I still do it the old school way because I don't have to kneel. If I did, I'd probably come up with something else.
I remember one time I was out at the dark side and I was trying to polar align, and I spent 15 minutes trying to find Polaris, and I couldn't find it to save my life, and I got so frustrated. I stood up and I stopped. I was looking at the mount, and I realized that I still had the dust cover on the front of the polar scope, so I had to take that off before it would actually, I could see anything. That was one of those dumb moments. Especially since I wasted 15 minutes.
I had a hard time with Polaris up at Cherry Springs. I mean, just trying to get,
I remember.
I'm so used to, yes. I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, I don't see north, here. I don't Sean, I don't know if you've heard my struggles, but like I have it, like literally I'm trying to find Polaris inside of a donut. So, but I know where that donut is in my tree.
That's like this here. This is one of the Sky Hunter.
Yep.
That's
the new one, right?
That's the new one, the go-to. And it's that hole right there. If you want to manually align with Polaris, you got to look through that hole. And that you try doing that bent over with the telescope hanging off and everything. It's pretty tough. It's not easy to do.
Oh my gracious.
Especially when you don't know where you're aiming, right? And you got the very small piece of sky that you're trying to move things around to find Polaris. And it took me quite a while to get this thing polar aligned. So, but I'll give you this, I'll say this. Once it was actually pretty good. I was actually unknowingly, I was doing 1 minute subs unguided with this mount, and the stars were fine. They were nice and round. I actually forgot to engage the auto guiding, and it was just running. I couldn't figure out why my guide graph was so good. It was literally flat, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. But it wasn't turned on. So it was interesting to see that the mount performed that well, even unguided with a rough polar alignment. I didn't even try to, nail it with Nina or anything like that.
What mount is that?
Sky Hunter. It's a new one from my Optron. So it's a go-to. It's a Wi-Fi go-to alt-az mount. So it can do equatorial, and it can do alt-az mode as well. You got one too, Dan?
Nope.
No.
Although I did get something new from my Optron.
What is it?
I liberated it. So it's not
okay.
Not really. Now, for those of you guys that have been watching, on the Discord, that I had the AM5 for a little bit, and I was testing it for somebody that said it was non-functional, and I ended up getting a really good 5-minute shot of the Andromeda Galaxy, guiding at about 0.4. So obviously user error. I literally, the person's like, just sell it. And so I sold it in like 2 days to an AstroWorld person with the tripod. I won't say how much, but she got a decent deal. And so I kind of liked the way the harmonic mount kind of worked. So I was able to liberate this. This is the HEM27 from my Optron that just came in Thursday. So I was expecting the Pegasus one to come in first from the Nixo one. And I was expecting that to come in, but unfortunately it didn't. So I was able to grab this, and believe it or not, the tripod that iOptron gives you, got to purchase it separately. It's $300, but it's the same exact tripod as the AM5, exact to the T.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to testing this guy out and I can have it for a while, and I don't have to sell it yet. So.
Yeah, I did get my hands on the new Pegasus Astro.
Could be delayed by about a month.
It's the Pegasus.
Yeah, I heard that. I spoke to I'm gonna butcher his name, and I'm sorry if you're watching. Evangelus.
Angelos.
Angelos.
No,
No,
Evans. He goes by Evans.
it's
Is what I see. In the video.
EVAN something.
Yeah, I think you're right, Evangelos or something.
Yeah, it's something really kind of. I definitely butchered it, but whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
What's that?
We're probably butchering it.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully, you know, like Pete said, hopefully by Christmas it'll be in the store. So we'll give it a shot because this Ioptron. What?
The one dealer that we have here in Ontario actually had a few of the Pegasus Astro
Got lucky.
harmonic mount.
Yeah, you got lucky.
Yeah, they got lucky, and no, I didn't get one, but hopefully the next round I'll be able to snag one. So it's got some really interesting features to it from what I was reading.
It does. You know, looks like it's
I'm
about
kinda
$1,000 more than the other.
Yeah,
two.
it was pretty expensive here. It was Canadian here. It was almost $4,000 here Canadian, whichever that. I don't know what that works out to.
That's $29,900. It's like $3,000 here.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
3,000 here. But it I believe it holds 40 pounds without
44
without.
pounds. Without, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really nice.
And you can, and it's got an adapter to fit onto a EQ6 mount, like tripod and stuff, or mounting plate.
That's nice.
So that actually, yeah, so that's nice. So that works for me because I have an EQ6 right now on the pier, so I can get that piece of hardware and attach the Pegasus Astro to the pier, which is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and
that would make
George,
it really, really nice.
Yeah, and George said also that, you know, he said correctly that Pegasus also uses harmonic on both axes. So
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Instead of
and there's something with the Master.
Pete, what was that?
I just sent you an email with the email that we got from Evangelist. He's talking about early December now.
Yeah, no, I got the same thing. You know, he said something about parts or something, and he's waiting on something to finish him up. But yeah, so he's looking mid-December right now.
There was something to do with sensors. I seem to recall I was watching a live stream and something to do with sensors, and the car industry has snagged all of them, so they're having trouble getting a hold of what they need. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, shock.
Yeah. But it's going to be interesting.
Let me Gideon. I want to make a shout out to Gideon here.
Gideon's in there? Oh, Gideon Sanders. There he is.
Yeah, there he is. I'll share my screen here. And Gideon, just so you know that this is not, you know, that this is actually happening.
Oh,
there is the video. I was actually working on this, and it is, you know, but life just gets in the way. So I was actually attempting to work the video for the FLT91. So it's not a phantom. It's not a phantom. It is actually, it does actually exist.
Hey.
So just to let you guys know. So I'll stop sharing here, but it is out there in the world.
It's what's that green piece right there? What is that?
That was my dew shield, the strap. The
green?
Strap. Yeah, that's the dew strap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was just the Velcro from the dew strap. It's green.
Oh,
it's an Agena. It was an Agena dew strap you purchased. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, good luck with that. You know, that's good. We're looking forward
really
to that.
Happening.
I was like, what is that green? What is that green? It looks very odd. You need to paint that red or something. You gotta get rid of that. You know, if you had like an Esprit or an EQ6R, something Skywatcher with the green, then I can see the green. You're really throwing off the color scheme there.
Yeah. So I just wanted to share that.
New PC or an FLT91 for me? Tough choice. Any opinions?
Tough choice or opinions? what are you using the PC for? If you're using it for astrophotography, is it going to be for doing it? Also, are you doing processing on this thing?
I'm thinking what he means is new PC, meaning desktop PC processor.
If he's talking about a desktop,
that's what I'm thinking.
Probably.
What the current scope though?
Yeah, we'll get some info from Gideon. He's throw it in there, Gideon. Tell us what you got as far as a PC now and what scope you're using.
Yeah,
because I mean, switching to the FLT 91 may not be, not you may not get that, much different result in the end, depending on what he's using now.
Yeah.
So it might be worthwhile to invest in UCT for processing the data.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was going to say, because I wanted to try to figure out what he's working with right now. Yes, use it for processing CPUs on the weak side. 2600. Yeah, I would.
Oof.
That's a Ryzen 2600.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go for the PC.
He uses a Red Cat right now.
Yeah.
Red Cat?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I would go for the
PC.
Yeah, I'll go with the PCs, really,
Dude, the Ryzen 9 with 128, which is what I got. Telling you. Anything with get as much RAM as you can, get as many M2 drives on board that you can, and just do it. Just spend the $5,000 and be done with it. Just seriously. I mean, you'll thank yourself in the long run, because you know what? I'm loving. Me and Jason put this together last year, and we hooked this thing up. We found a motherboard that actually has 3 M2 drive slots on board on the motherboard, and it's smoke. So I have what was that?
What board is that?
It's the Aorus Master. Aorus Master, yeah. AORUS Master.
Okay. Aorus Master.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in that. Oh, Gigabyte.
Yep. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got the 3 on board, 128 gig of RAM, fits all the Ryzens in there, and it smokes. This thing smokes.
Yeah.
So I literally have one M2 drive just for swap files. I have one M2 drive for my current processing project. And then I have one M2 for the operating system. And everything else is storage. I got my Synology storage. I got about 16 terabytes on there. I got another 40 or 50 in the case. So I mean, I got so much space. I'm like, I thought you never ever have to, you always say you're never gonna fill stuff up, but you
wasn't it Bill Gates that said you never need more than 640K?
Yeah, back in 1981. Yeah, so he said that. That's when we were talking about DOS 2.0. That's that's what we were talking about. When the best computer out there was the Timex Sinclair 1000. If you remember, I'm really dating myself there. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Yeah. I don't remember that one, but
that was a cassette deck. The programs were on tapes.
Okay. Yeah. You put in the cassette. I remember I used computers like that, but they weren't. It wasn't called that. It was something else. I'm not sure if it was a Tandy or something.
Tandy made something very similar as well. Yep.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a Tandy.
I had a Tandy RL 1000 is what I had.
And the Texas Instruments TI-99 did the same thing. Yep.
Yeah. And the Apple II Plus is one of them.
Apple II
as well.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, I would say go for the new PC. I mean,
absolutely.
Like Dan, I've got the Ryzen 5900X, the 12 core.
I got the 16. Nice.
And they're awesome. I beefed, I'm saying beefed mine up to 120, maxed out the RAM 128.
Yep. Way to go.
So I mean, video, unless you're a gamer, you don't need a major GPU or anything like that unless you're gaming on it. Because I've got an RX 6600, which is totally fine with 8 gig of VRAM. But yeah, I would say go for that and get as much storage as you can, because I'm sitting right now at about 16 terabytes of storage, and I probably only use right now maybe a quarter of that, so maybe about 3 to 4 terabytes. And that's a lot of that is from AP, from holding on to all of my data.
Yeah,
so.
I've had to add new drive. I added just recently a new 10 terabyte drive, just because I was running out of space on everything else. The files just kept getting added more and more and more. And when you start doing the WBTP and that, it creates all the files. That takes up a huge amount of space. So I like to keep as much as possible, but there's been times that I've actually deleted some stuff just to free up space, because I was literally just running out. It was crazy.
My problem is that I like to keep really crappy data. I like to really bad data to show people,
the progression.
Well, not the progression of basically not what to do, what not to do. You know what I mean? This is what it looks like when you screw this up. You know what I mean? And you know what? But the problem is that I save so much bad garbage data. It literally takes up about a terabyte or two. That's just bad data. I literally have a folder in there that says bad data, and it just gets bigger and bigger because those damn telephone lines keep on having babies.
Yeah, that's got to be tough. I got limited sky because of trees, but I don't have telephone lines to deal with, so that's good.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me they told me to tell my wife this. Let me see if I can find this. So my buddy Ron, who's a really good friend of mine, he goes, ask Jen. Jen is a lawyer. Jen does medical malpractice, but she knows about other laws. So she asked Jen what it would take to file for an inverse condemnation lawsuit against a town for essentially rendering the view of your nighttime sky useless, being that you originally bought the house with the view of the sky in mind, and the town's installation of power lines has completely ruined its value. Interesting thought.
It's an interesting thought. You never know. Yeah. I mean, there's crazier things that have gotten into court. So,
like people burning themselves with hot coffee from McDonald's. I mean,
McDonald's,
Well, yeah. That's a great example. Yeah, absolutely.
The
crazy house on fire when they forget to take the Pop-Tart out of the container.
No. Oh no, the craziest, and again, going a little off the rails here, but the craziest lawsuit that I heard of just plain out stupidity. I mean, this was just stupid. A lady sued because she went into nicotine overdose from Nicoderm CQ, the patches. Right? So in the original instructions said, take out one patch and use one each day as you progress through the cycle. Go to step 1, step 2, step 3. Blah, blah.
Oh, let me guess. She didn't take the old ones off, did she?
She didn't take the old ones off. She went into the hospital with something like 60 patches all over her body in different spots.
Oh my gosh.
And she went.
I feel like I did hear about that one before, and I was like,
I've got one that beats that. 20 years ago in California, there was a mayor in San Francisco called Moscone. And Harvey Milk was his kind of like a right-hand guy. He was one of the city supervisors.
Harvey Milk
killed him.
Yeah. Yep.
And his lawyer, I mean, believe this, his lawyer got him off on the famous Twinkie trial. Said that he was eating too many Twinkies and it affected his mental capacity. Literally, he got off for murder on the Twinkie trial. I mean, that is amazing. So it depends. You just got to get a good lawyer, man. That's all you got to get.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hell, you ask OJ. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
You had the dream team that got him off.
Look, love don't fit. You got to quit.
Yeah, I mean.
But yeah.
Yeah,
it might be worth you pursuing this, Dan.
It's gonna cost way too much money to do it for it to be worth. I'd rather just move.
Yeah, that would be better. You move to better skies too if you want.
Yeah, I'd rather just move, and it's just not. It would take thousands of dollars to do that lawsuit for probably no result, and I'm not willing to roll that dice unless if I won the lotto, which I don't know. I got to check my ticket, but
in which case you'd probably be moving anyway.
Then I'd be moving anyway, exactly, like tomorrow.
Yeah. You almost
the guy in Altadena won the big one.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a house in Kitchener, and
that would be good. Buy the house next door to me.
There you go. But so what's everybody doing as far? We're done with the lawsuits and everything. What's everybody doing as far as photography? Anybody doing anything interesting?
Well, right now, working on processing the Andromeda again, going back on that with the FLT91 this time. And to be honest, I'm actually thinking about going ahead and pulling the trigger on getting the reducer for it.
Okay.
It's not that expensive with the additional M93.
Yeah, what does that bring that down to though?
It brings it down to around 430 millimeter focal length.
So let me ask a question, because this is just because I'm going to ask the newbie question. Because I think this is what we need to talk about a little bit. Now, what's your reasoning? I know you're doing Andromeda, so what's your reasoning behind getting a flattener for a refractor of the focal length that you have to knock it down to 430?
The reason why I'm getting it basically is because I've already got a flattener. This is the flattener reducer. This is so I can get that additional focal length. I can drop the focal length down so I can get a wider field of view. That's basically it. It's so I can get that wider FOV. And I'm bouncing back and forth right now. The reason is I do have a RASA 8, and that is a 400 millimeter focal length. So I'm really questioning myself is why do I really want to get it? The reason why I'm thinking about getting it is maybe, because I really want to take advantage of my monochrome camera.
Okay.
And I have everything set up right now using the 2600 mono and using the FLT91. It's been really good, working well with that versus the constant swapping with that I have to do if I use the mono with the filters, and I'd have to use I'd have to go back. I think I still have them, my 12 nanometer filters. Okay, because I would have to use a higher band pass, or else I'm going to have to deal with blue shift.
Right.
If I go if I go really low, but that's the reason why. So it's either that, or me continuing to work towards the 2600 one shot, right? And with the one shot, I'll continue to have my NBZ, which I have it on there right now. And I'll probably go ahead and move on from the 533 I have right now, because I really want to minimize the number of cameras I have.
You could send some my way. It's fine.
Yeah. So having the 2600, it's been fantastic. I love it. And one of the reasons why, like we were in the chat here a little bit with Dave, is that why I went ahead and moved on from the 294 mono and went on to the 2600 mono was file size, because when you're binning one, because you're at bin one, you're at 90 meg per file. Mm-hmm. It's huge. Yeah. It's crazy. And so I wanted to get away from that. I wanted to get away, make it a little bit easier. I like how the 2600, the having going from the 14 to 16 bit, the better well depth, better QE. So there are a lot of more advantages for me to go with the 2600 and move on from the 294s. So, but yeah, I think the next thing is either I'm going to get a 2600 one shot for the Rasa and just stick with that, or I'm going to go ahead and throw in the reducer and do something that route. So I don't know.
Everybody's having fun in the chat. I mean, even Pete's getting in on it because Pete's not a chat person. He figured out what chat was like about 3 shows ago.
Where will Eric pull the eagle on the trigger? Pull the trigger on the eagle.
I would just keep myself kind of in the distance, in the background, just kind of watching, observing, and now it's kind of fun.
It's kind of like having a new job. You just want to kind of like figure things out and see where things are, and then now you jump in. It's
well, as I said, it's always great to be here. Having Sean on tonight, it's great to have Sean on. This is great, man.
Yeah.
Having just impromptu guests come on the show. Maybe this is a good idea. Is maybe what we should also do is we should also maybe once a month or once every 3 weeks, we just have a viewer member come on the show as well.
Yeah, it's tough to get those viewer members. They like to be stalkers on the chat. All these guys, all these guys like to be in the chat. They don't want to show their face. It's like they're like mask. It's like it's like they don't want to come on. We actually played with this idea about 6 months ago, I believe, Pete, with you and me, and we threw it out there, and nobody took us up on it except for Sean and Tom Bramwell. So
the idea is to actually get participation, right? Just get active participation, and I think that this is the way that we grow this. I mean, once again, having Sean on the show, having Thomas on the show, and having all these guests on the show, and especially I think after Appapalooza, I tell you, Dan, I really think that your membership is just going to start to actually peak, because what you've got listed there, and I mean, once again, this is a testament to you because you did the hard work to get this set up. I really think everybody, kudos to Dan, man. Dan really has put this together, and only you know what the effort was.
Please don't say it didn't happen yet. So it could be a shit show. Sorry. But you never know what's going to go on. It's a lot to kind of put together. I'm trying to even pull Jason, who's the guy who pretty much taught me this software, and I'm still screwing it up to this day. It's just that he uses it a lot more than I do, and is very, very much more efficient than I am using it. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of drag him in to kind of help out because he's on vacation.
He's on vacation
till the end of the year, so he may be bored by Thanksgiving. So maybe I can get him in to do it, which would be nice. He's gonna look at my dashboard of all the garbage that I have on the screen. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" But
I got a question for Pete. Dan, did you send Pete that image I sent you of Abel 85?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Did you see that? That's 4.5 to 5 hours, and you can hardly see it.
You can barely see it, but I tell you what, if you get a little bit more exposure, it'll pop up. It's there.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I insist you.
It's a very, very faint target, but believe me, it's worth it because only you can appreciate the time and effort that you put into it. Because once again, it's a winter target. You're out there in the cold, man. It's brutal. Only you can appreciate the time and the effort that it took to get that. But boy,
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, when I was taking the sub, I couldn't even see it. So
yeah, it's faint, but I guarantee you that once you push the exposure, you'll get it, and all of a sudden you're gonna go home. Now I know exactly what I got to do. But boy, once you print that up, it's just an amazing target because it is just a really very faint supernova remnant. Just like kind of this new one, that's 406. It's another one that's very faint. But there's only very limited images. There's only like 5 or 6 images that I've seen of this one. and they call it the Laughing Skull Nebula, but it really looks just like a skull. I mean, it's an amazing little complex in Draco.
Yeah, that's cool. No, the Abel 85 is of interest to me. I've done all of the popular bright objects, and I've done them over and over again with different scopes and different cameras and stuff like that. So I'm looking for different things to image. I actually like, me personally, I like the dark nebulas. Those are very challenging, especially my skies. I mean, I'm not as bad as Dan. Dan's got really bad skies, but my skies are still challenging.
Almost as bad.
Well, yeah, you think
in certain areas. I should reclassify that in certain areas.
That was out at Ron's there, and that's he's depending which way you're facing, he's either looking at the city or he's looking at an auto mall, right? So
yeah, but the great thing about Canada is, I'm sorry to cut you off. The great thing about Canada is they have big cities in Canada, but the light domes don't compare to Manhattan or Los Angeles or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Because the problem is they have a big city. Like, let's say, I think the closest big city to you is really Toronto to your east.
Toronto. That's right. Yeah.
So, and you got, and I saw from Ron's, the light dome only went maybe just above the tree line, 20 degrees or so. That was it. The light dome Manhattan from Long Island is 40, 45 degrees up in the west.
Wow.
And it's pretty, and it's bright. You cannot see anything below 40 degrees in the west unless if it's like Venus. It's that bad. But that's the thing that makes areas like where you live, Sean, a lot better, because in certain areas it might be just a little bit brighter, but you go right to the other part of the sky and it's like 2 or 3 magnitudes darker.
Yeah, that's the situation that I'm in, actually, where I'm on the outskirts of the city. So if I'm looking to the east, I'll see the light pollution. But if you go overhead and into the south and into the west, I'm into a completely Bortle, a different Bortle scale, probably a Bortle 5 looking that direction. But if I'm looking towards the city, I would say it's a Bortle 7, Bortle 8, but it's not that bad. It fades out. The light dome doesn't rise too high, so it fades out. I can image from the northeast and overhead and into the south and stuff like that. So
that's awesome. I figured it out. If I wanted to get enough data on Able 85 from my house to image in between the phone lines, it would take me about 3.5 years to get the data that I need to actually bring it out.
Wow. Well, based on what I got so far, it feels like it's going to take 3.5 years to get anything worthwhile. It's so faint.
Because mine goes up and then it goes behind the house. So I can't even, once it gets past, I only get about like an hour or 2 on it.
Oh, okay. So you're sort of like me with Orion, because it's blocked by trees, and I have to wait to image Orion. A lot of people are already starting to, image Orion and stuff, and I have to wait till the end of February, March next year before it's actually visible to me, and I only get about maybe an hour and a half, and then it dips behind rooftops. So it's a tough one for me to collect data on that.
Yeah, I get lucky on that side of the sky because Orion kind of goes up in between a house and across, and it literally kind of like does a walk across the top of my house, and from where my pier is. So I can make out M4. I can get M42 on the rise, and then almost at transit, and then a little bit after. And then it's gone. But I can get quite a bit, and there's no telephone lines over there. Anything in the east, in the south, I'm okay with. Anything in the west and the north, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that. Oh, go ahead, John.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say my area sky is very slim too. I have the northeast. shoot overhead, and then a lot of the south is blocked with trees. So I have the southwest and the west, and that's about it. Even the north is blocked by, for the most part, by the house itself. Where this telescope has to be positioned. So it's tough. But anyways, go ahead, Pete.
No, I was just going to say is like an example is when we talk about Orion, we always see M42, we see the Running Man, but there's so many other targets in there that people just really don't pay attention to. Like an example, there's that one nebula complex called the Keyhole. Really, and a very interesting. I mean, it's just like looks just like a keyhole, and it's not that far from M42, but you don't really see a lot of those images with that as well. So there's a lot of these obscure targets that I kind of really like. And as you said, the dark nebulas. I mean, God, the dark nebulas or the intergalactic flux nebula, those are kind of things now that I've been kind of like really looking at more, that when people post, I go, wow, look at this. This is definitely something unique, because don't get me wrong, and I'm not trying to say anything disrespectful, but you can only see so many images of like Andromeda, M42, M45. It's these unique one-off kind of targets that really kind of make me kind of look a little bit more in seeing the post-processing techniques that they've done.
Yeah, for sure.
That Keyhole Nebula, Peter, that Keyhole Nebula, what's the designation on it? Do you know?
Offhand, I don't know. If you just type in Keyhole in Orion, it'll populate with its category name.
Maybe I'll try. I'll add Orion and see if that changes it. Cosmic Keyhole?
That would be it, yeah.
I think it's actually what Dave was talking about. NGC 1999. Yep, the Cosmic Keyhole.
Yep, that's it. Yep, that's it.
What
is
it?
The Cosmic Keyhole.
1999.
1999. Remember that show?
Like it's 1990. No, I'm renaming it. It's called the Landau Nebula.
There you go.
Not only old people will get that. But,
yeah, I wonder who got that in the chat.
Yeah, I don't know, but you know me, I'm a plethora of useless information. So,
but interesting information.
I try, and you know
another one would that people really don't talk about much is M78.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
right down the block.
I mean, the reflection nebula. I mean,
it's a gorgeous reflection nebula.
Yeah, it's probably the brightest reflection nebula, but you don't see a lot of those images.
Nope.
No, you don't. I mean, if you have a wide enough lens, I mean, you can get the loop, you can get Bernard's loop, or you can do mosaics there. I mean, that's a great, but yeah, as to your point, Pete, you can only see so many M42s, so many, B33s or the horse head and stuff like that. Until, I'm looking for challenge. I'm looking for obscure. I'm looking for things that are like, wow, that is something, and to spend the 50 plus hours, on imaging that sucker, like I did with the other dark nebula that I worked on. That's what I'm looking for, is that those challenges to bring out that nebulosity,
and that brings up a good thing. Really, I'm sorry, Pete. DB right there, DB in the chat. He's a friend of mine. Actually, I don't know if I'm a friend of his, but he's a friend of mine. But he actually brought up something to me at the shop, saying that we should do a show once a month on each host picks an obscure target to talk about.
Yeah.
Something that's kind of off the beaten path that people don't usually image a lot of. That's that month's obscure target challenge, let's say, or whatever the case may be. And I think that'd be a great idea, because not only would it help me learn a little bit more about random targets, But I think it would be just a kind of cool thing for our membership to kind of realize that there are other things out there besides M31, M42, M45, you know, the things that we see all the time, the California Nebula, you know, all these things that we see. Like this time of year, it's M42, the Pleiades, the California, you know, all these things that are coming up. You know, sooner come in January, all of a sudden you're going to see the witch head pop up, and it's going to be all over. You know, so and, I mean, all these things are going to be coming along, and you kind of see, you kind of see the same things over and over again. And it's great. You know, people are getting into it. You know, people that are just I still want to do the regular targets because I think all my regular targets that, you know, my Andromeda, my M42, I think mine, they kind of suck. So I want to do new ones, you know. So, but I'm not going to go.
Things to improve upon.
Yeah, you know, my acquisition, my scope, my processing, it's all changed over the past couple of years.
So why do you? Oh, okay. Well, you sort of answered the question. I was going to say, why do you think that your image sucks?
Because my process. Well, I mean, if I show you my first M42, I mean, no flats, no darks, no bias, no, you know, no nothing. I mean, I can find it. I'm sure I have it.
Maybe around there somewhere.
It's in my Google Drive. I'm sure.
My first images of M31, it wasn't very good.
I like the idea of doing a new target. You know, featuring a target every week. I mean, because I'm definitely in that. I'm kind of in that gap right now myself. You know, I'm kind of going back, and I'm going. You know, like I processed a single image, you know, just single uncalibrated of M31 last week, just so I remembered how to do it, because I've only, I think in the past 2 months, I've gotten four images, and that's it. And that was of M31, just because I'm waiting for the trees too. So, you know, actually I'm going to move my scope on Sunday, and I'll, you know, once I think the leaves have fallen enough that I can polar align in my winter spot.
I got one of them.
But yeah, I like, you know, I want to redo these again just so I can kind of see where I was. And it was, like when I looked at the single image I did last weekend, or whatever, it looked better than the first one that I did, you know. So I was like, oh wow, there's something. Okay, but I want something new. Like my family all knows what these targets are. They see them. They're like, they're tired of them. They're like, oh, look, it's Andromeda. Oh, look, it's the Orion Nebula. Like, okay, you know, when my family has no idea, you know, they just humor. I mean, they love what I do, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, but they're not into, you know, but they know because they've seen them over and over and over. So yeah, definitely need something new. And looking at it on like a star chart or something, you know, you see the designation, and of course you could, you know, go through and search it up and see what is that target, what is that target, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Here you go. So here's one of my first.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That is crap.
Thanks. Appreciate that.
Like probably all of our first.
Yeah.
At least the stars are round. The stars are round, Dan.
No, they're not.
What did you use to shoot that?
Oh man, I'd have to look. I think this was. I think
Tasco 50.
No, I think this was my 8-inch LX200.
Okay, but let me ask you: were you thrilled to death when you got that shot, though?
Absolutely, I was, and now I'm like, oh my god! And now I keep it. This is now
like,
in.
Oh my god!
Here you go. Here's another one. Here you go. That's a little better, but no. You know, that's with the reducer. That, you know, but the everything is, it's all crap. I mean, you can't. It's not usable.
That's like my stuff too. When I first started, it's crap too, and I still have it. I have it on CDs or something somewhere, or DVDs.
Yeah, no, I do it all. I finally found them all, and they were all on my Google Drive. And then I started to get somewhat better, and then I ended up I still didn't realize what flats were, so then I got that.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
and that's an interesting thing to bring up. Not everyone knows what that is, right? Flats and stuff. So I didn't know what a flat was when I first started, and I relied on people more experienced to educate me and tell me, and that's exactly what happened, right? Which is what brought me to want to interact with the astronomy community, the astrophotography community more. Is that I had help when I was starting, so. I wanted to sort of pay it forward a little in some way, and this is one way that I can do it. But yeah, everyone's starting out. Their images, looking back, they're probably awful to look at. But when you first took those images, you were so excited. I remember chasing the Horsehead Nebula. I was set up with an SCT on an Alt-Az. It was, what was it, a CPC 800 Selectron?
Oh, the Frisbee.
And I had a Canon, an unmodified Canon 350 on the back, XT 350 XT, and that's when I was in manually taking 30-second exposures trying to catch the Horsehead Nebula. And I remember when I first got enough data that way and processed it. I wish I had the image. I don't know where it is right now, but I was just thrilled beyond belief. It was just, but if you look back, you'll go, "Oh my God, that's awful." But to me, it was just it was fascinating.
Absolutely,
I was capturing this light from deep space with a telescope that I had purchased.
And then with the remember I had the D350, the 350D from Canon.
Yeah,
and I always had it set on the timer, and because I didn't have a shutter release or infrared or anything. There was so you would hit the button, right? You'd hit the button, and so it would settle, so it would take the picture, right?
Yeah.
Don't do that at a star party. Just don't do a DSLR on the time, because this is what's going to happen for all you newbies out there. This is what's going to happen. You're going to hit the button, and then you're going to have an annoying flash of light 10 times.
Yeah.
Really bright.
Yeah.
And it's going to beep at the same time it flashes. And you're going to get yelled at and screamed at and say, "What the hell?" And let me tell you, if you haven't guessed, that was me in I don't know, 2001. But
God, that's funny.
Yeah. So I mean, and then kind of I even got a little. And this is not my latest, but I mean this is, and it's off center a little bit, but then I got a little bit better.
Gee, my very first piece of equipment, if you remember, was once again, Dan, with an unmodified and uncooled DSLR. It was a Canon 5D. High read noise, terrible camera, but I was just learning. And do you remember the AstroTrack? Remember version 1 of the AstroTrack?
Absolutely. Yep.
That's what I did. I got one of those AstroTrack trackers. And I mean, I used to go up into the foothills outside of Orange County, and you get sky dome everywhere from God knows every possible city, 360, but at least you had the mountains to kind of keep it. But you're right, you had to be at the zenith to be able to do anything. All my images were just crap because once again, I was just learning. I didn't have a clue. But you're right. You got to make mistakes to learn, right? You have to make mistakes. Otherwise, you just don't learn.
Yeah.
And that's the key is that you'll find that you'll keep going and you'll keep learning. And then you get to that plateau. And then once you get better equipment, you get like an APO, you get a better mount, you get a cool camera, then you'll keep honing your skill set. But it's funny, as long as we still keep taking the real big targets, we know that they're basically what I call high surface brightness targets, basically M42, M45, M31. It's the low surface brightness targets are the ones that really test your ingenuity to really think, okay, how do I get the data? I've got these faint photos coming in and I really want to post-process this. So that's where you have to kind of keep learning that skill set. And then, as I said, you'll be amazed when you get that very first, very faint target and you really look at it and you go, wow, look at that. That thing has taken a lot of exposure time, but you really know and you feel proud about that because now you've put all your skill set together to really capture that one target. I think that's what it's all about when it comes to this, because we all know that we all can take the high brightness targets.
Yeah, that's like the what is it, Bernard 150, this Seahorse Nebula.
Yep.
I took an image. I took an image of that. I finally got a good image of it. It took. I bet I've been trying for about 6 or 7 years now to get a good image of that, and it took just the right equipment brought together to make it happen. But it was mind blowing to process the data and to see the dark nebula coming out, just popping out. I've never had that happen. Same with the Shark Nebula. Same idea. You know, it's fairly dim. Takes a lot of data to make it pop out. So. But those type of objects are of real interest to me. You know, you could even do you might consider something for the show, do a contest of obscure objects. You know, the members can shoot an obscure object and enter the contest or something like that, and see who has the best image, something, just to, put some ideas, out there for other people to, there's other objects to image, I guess, right? Rather than just the regular ones.
And the regular ones, the we call them the run of the mill objects.
The run of the mill ones, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, oh, it's another M45. Oh, it's another M8 or whatever. Like I haven't seen these before.
M45 will only be exciting to me if somebody finds something in there, like when they found the bubble nebula. You know what I mean? It's been there the whole time. Nobody paid attention to it. But that'd be good. Winner gets an Eagle 4. Yeah, Gideon. Good luck with that. I think that was one of the that was a one of a kind ever giveaway. I don't think that'll ever happen again. If it does, I will be more than happy, with Filippo and Tom and Omar and all the guys over at Prima Luce that allow me to do that. But I seriously think that was a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Unless if we get more members on Patreon that could actually fund it. So So.
Well, Dan, you mentioned that we've got the calendar this year, right? This is November. We got one more month. Then we start 2023. So maybe what we do is for the 2023 calendar, we don't do all of them obscure, but maybe we just take a couple of months and just do maybe 3 out of the 12 months for obscure targets. Something like that might be an idea to consider for next year on the calendar.
That'd be a good idea. Absolutely. And you know what? I do have some sort of a reveal if I could get it on the computer. Let's see, order. There we go. And let's see if I can get it on the minute requirements. Let's see. Delivery number 1, delivery number 2. There we go. So let me download this. And I do have some sort of a reveal here. If you just be patient with me real quick. And make it bigger. And here we go. So check this out. Okay. There's the new logo. There's the logo for Astropalooza.
Yeah, it's great design. That's really well done.
That is.
Yeah.
And that's what
Did you come up with that, Dan?
Yourself or Scott or his wife?
That's what $50 will get you on Fiverr.com. No, I did not know. Although I do know that telescope graphic. That is a free graphic. If you type telescope refractor, all he did, it comes up in black and white. All he did was color that red because I wanted that red because that's the red that I use on our telescope. But
I had that on Fiverr too, where they were using graphics free stuff and that I could have got and done something with. So only my cost on Fiverr was a lot worse than yours. I think I paid like $200 for a logo for something I was working on, and
because I wasn't sure about Fiverr. I've never used it before. Now that I for $50 I could get that, I could just imagine what I could get for a better designer for $200.
Yeah. You see the chat? Check out the chat, Dan.
Ooh,
I got the
David,
Astropalooza.
thank you.
I got the
Wow,
Astropalooza.
David. Toward another eagle.
Oh,
But still, thank you, David.
wow, David, thank you so much. Hey, listen, throw more money in there. We'll get another eagle. Don't worry. We only got about another 3,000 to go, so don't worry about it. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You just paid for the logo almost. So, hey, listen, and the funny thing is that, a black shirt with a selection of funny quotes. Okay, so the sometimes it's not the length, it's the girth shirt that has been infamously thrown out of AstroWorld is going to make its return in 23. I don't care. It's going to go up because you know why? I think it's funny. And if you don't think it's funny, don't buy it. If you like it, buy it. Just, that's all.
Yeah.
Just like TV. You don't like the TV station? Change the channel. That's okay. No problem. I just got a weird sense of humor. And if it gets choose to be twisted.
Did you get blowback on that shirt?
I did. That's why I took it down.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, I did. I did. So I took it down. So I think everybody here knows the design. I show it. It has a refractor on the top and a Schmidt on the side. It said sometimes it's not the length, it's the girth. AstroWorld. And that's it. You can take it as it comes and take it and leave it. You know what I mean? But you know what? I'm talking about astrophotography. I don't know what you guys are thinking about. I don't know.
Some people, I tell you, man.
I had to actually approve Dennis's post. So just but hey, you know what? But it's gonna come back and it's gonna go on the AstroWorld site in January. So that's gonna come back. So
there you go.
And I'm sure I'll think of more corny crap that I can put on a t-shirt. Look out for the Astropalooza t-shirts. That's gonna come up next week. So
merch.
And remember, in all fairness, it's not all about money to AstroWorld. It's all about money, 10% of the profits, which is quite a huge chunk of what we make on it and make the show better and all that kind of stuff and make videos and get all the other garbage that we need to make this happen. But 10% of the profits go to a members astrophotography club in a donation to that club. So, the more you buy, the more of a donation we could give out. I mean, I hate to say go out and buy it. I'm not trying to sound like a merch haul, but that's a true thing. So
yeah,
AstroWorld USB cables. All right. So
next thing you know, it's gonna be like Spaceballs. AstroWorld, the flamethrower. The kids love that.
No, so I'm gonna make. I already have a vendor that's gonna do this for me. I'm gonna make AstroWorld solar glasses for the eclipse.
Oh, that would be really cool.
And it's gonna have the AstroWorld logo right in the middle, like the guys from. Remember the guys from Flash Gordon, the guys that had no eyes and mouth, and they had those glasses on. They had the little symbol right in the middle of their forehead. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. It's okay, but it'll be like that. And on the side, and just because Eric said Spaceballs, on the side, on the rims, it's gonna say I'm surrounded by idiots. I can't put a-holes. I don't know if anyone would buy them, but
keep firing.
You would, right? Buy them 5 at a time, right?
Yeah.
So I have a vendor that's going to be making them, Mylar, the whole thing, and so it's going to be kind of cool.
That's awesome. Really cool. Great, good stuff. Good stuff.
Really good. That's a great idea, though. Seriously.
AstroWorld big helmet. There you go.
That would be funny.
And what's the helmet for? We can make the helmet a flat panel.
There you go. I don't know.
It just has to be a big helmet. That's all. That's good enough.
Like could have like a football helmet with the AstroWorld logo, just says big helmet on it.
Yeah.
In black. And it's got one of those raising visors.
The gore helmet.
Yeah. and it starts killing your your airway, so you have to slap it open. And I can't breathe in this thing.
on the back, it's gonna say, "No, you don't look through-ish."
You don't look through-ish. There it is. Oh gosh.
Oh man, this is going south.
It's
going south. So what's everyone been doing lately? What's going on? Who's been imaging what? I've been working on the Sol Nebula. I've been working on double cluster, and I started taking some data on IC 1499, is it, or NGC 1499? California. Anyway, I started taking
California.
Yeah, I started doing that. I was doing the cluster. I was doing double cluster because of the full moon and stuff, and just trying to make some use of the clear sky that we were having. And then I did some narrowband too on the Sol Nebula. I brought it together, but I was having some guiding issues or something was going on. I got some wonky stars in it. They're a little egg shaped in that, which is unusual for me because I usually don't experience that. But it could be attributed to a change that I made in the PhD guiding that is affecting it. And I don't know. I'd have to switch it back and do a test and see. But I was thinking at the time, if it isn't broke, don't fix it. But I saw a Quiv's video. You made the change in the PhD 2 to the adapt. I can't remember what it's called exactly. Some sort of adaptive PEC mode.
DPEC. Predictive PEC.
Yeah. Predictive PEC. That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
So I tried that actually, and the graph did improve, but I wasn't getting the same stars. I don't think.
Are you still using EQ mod or no?
No, I switched to Green Swamp server.
Okay,
now,
so did I, and I did the training on it, and I clicked on predictive PEC, and I clicked it on in PhD guiding, and it just screwed shit up. It was just and there's a lot of stuff in the GSS server forums that people have been getting inconsistent results with it. So I turned it off and everything went back to normal. Perfect. No problem. Just leave it alone.
I think that's what I'm going to do too, because I was getting good stars to begin with. So there wasn't really a need to change it so much, but I thought I'd try it and I kind of regretting it because I wasted a lot of data basically at this point. So I'll have to go back and reshoot the Sol Nebula. I haven't looked at the data for the double cluster yet to see what it looks like, but not the greatest change that I made in PhD. That's for sure.
Well, you know what? You don't see. That's the thing with the. Go ahead. What was that?
You got to experiment. You got to experiment a little bit in the hobby, right? You can't just, keep doing the same thing over and over again. Even if it works, I think it's good to experiment just to see, because you might find something, an improvement that you weren't expecting,
Exactly. If you don't make any changes, you don't know if your sequence or your acquisition or your processing even could be getting better because you just decide to go to the left fork instead of the right in the road. And
I did that actually with my processing in Pixinsight. I was processing some data today, and I actually changed my initial approach of from what I normally do, and just to try it. The result was still good, but it was a deviation from what I normally would do, and I just wanted to experiment with it and just see what the result was. You never know, and if it was no good, well, then I knew, right? Didn't have to repeat that. So but
predictive PEC. What you should do is determine what the worm cycle is and run it on the wizard for at least a minimum of 3 worm cycles. Because what the predictive data is doing is the algorithm is self-learning if there's any inflections within that worm gear and the gear itself. So after about the 3rd worm cycle, then you can go back and do it. But at least a minimum of 3 worm cycles is what you're going to need on it. But it's a good algorithm. It's a very good algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Well,
just
that's
I
I
just
just
haven't
I
been
had
able.
mixed results with it.
Yeah, I just haven't been able to get it to work for me. I'm sure
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
out there have been able to get it to work. I've been using EQ mod for oh my god, I don't even know how many years. You
Yeah.
know, and I've been a symptom mount user for I don't know, 15 years or more. And I've been using, you know, the original Atlas all the way through to the EQ6R and now the EQ8R. I'm still using center mounts, and you know, and now you know, now I graduated or moved on from EQ mod, even though EQ mod is works unbelievably. EQ mod works. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but Green Swarm server is a little bit more user friendly as far as the graphical user interface, the
Yeah.
GUI. It's a
Yeah. The GUI is updated a lot
yeah,
better.
it's a
Yeah.
you know, it's a little you know, they both basically do the same thing, but you know, one's
Yeah.
presented a little differently than the other. So
Mhm.
I moved on to GSS, and that's been working awesome with all my mounts. I mean, all the ones that I could use it with.
Yeah, I've been working on. I've got a few projects that I was working on. I just finished up the Ghost of Cassiopeia. I haven't even posted it
Yep.
on Astrobin yet, but or even in
Mhm.
Facebook. But I finished that one up. And my goal with that one was to really try my best to control gamma, Cygni as best I could. Because it is that is one of the super bright stars right there. And sometimes you can definitely, if you're not too careful, you will definitely, blow out, get some haloing if you're not too
Pesky.
careful.
It's a pesky star.
Yeah,
A lot of the
it is. It is.
It is, yeah. A lot of the images that I've seen of it, the stars are that star is blowing out completely.
Yeah.
And it's a tough one. I've imaged it twice now. I imaged it with the S3E100, and I also just went back recently and imaged it with the Starfield 8-inch astrograph, and I went really short. Well, I shouldn't say really short, but I did 1 minute subs on it, and that worked out really well, controlling the star. And it wasn't blown out or anything like that. So you have to take a different approach to every object. I find,
Yes. Yes.
one method doesn't necessarily work for everything. So you have to take a different approach. And in that case, there as the example that goes to Cassiopeia, well knowing that star is difficult and can be easily blown out. So the idea was to go shorter sub and try and control that situation a little better.
Yeah.
Just add it. The only problem with shorter subs is you end up with so many on your system. Like it takes forever, especially if you're running stuff through WBPP. It's just wow, it just takes forever for it to complete. So you're getting. I think the highest I got was 16 hours or something like that at one point. With it just kept going, and I was afraid of maybe a power outage or something because then I'd have to start.
All of a sudden you see skipped, abort.
Exactly. And so and I don't think and while I think it's good, but it's not great because Gamma Cygni is still, like you say, it's one of those that you can definitely and I'll be honest with myself, it's not great, but it blew it out. The other
what was your exposure?
Here, Sean. I'll show it to you, and let me get I'll get your take on it. As far as what your thought is.
It's crap. It's no good.
Yeah, it's crap. It's all crap.
It's all crap. I don't have to see
crap.
It's just all crap. It's just crap.
Well, that's not bad. So, no, that's that's
no,
nice.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Thanks.
No, that's good.
So
it's a little blown out, but it's not terrible. I've seen worse than that.
Yeah, it's it's like I say, it's a fight. Sometimes with some of these brighter stars, but the other one that I've been working on is Andromeda. Just going back to Andromeda, and in fighting that one, and controlling it. And I've basically been doing 30-second exposures, so I can control without having to really do any deconvolution or anything like that to help control that core. So that's the red, and I've got to combine everything. And I did a bit of, and I've done some, and I've got some HA here. I think even and there's the luminance. So it's just a matter of now, getting everything put together. But it's going to be a good image. It's going to be a good image. I hope so. I hope so. I hope that'll work out really, really nicely. And there's others that I've been keeping. I've been doing the California. Got the California going right now, as well as Sharpless 129, the Flying Bat. I got that started and that's going to be that oxygen and trying to get that freaking squid. My goodness, that squid! It's like one of my unicorns. Just like getting a really good shot of the shark, the dark shark. That's one because I love dark nebulae, and that's my unicorn right there. I don't think I've done it justice yet, but that squid is a pain in the butt.
It's a tough one. It's faint. You need a lot of data for it, and you need some good processing skills to really make it pop out. It's not easy to do. So if you need some lessons, Eric, just let me know, buddy. Hit me up.
Yeah. All right, there you go. I'll take you up on that sometime.
You'll do fine. You'll do fine. I've seen your stuff. You'll do fine. You just got to get a lot of data. That's all. It's really just you just need a ton of it for that. There's no way around it.
For sure. So, and that's one of the other reasons why I was thinking about looking at getting the reducer there, Dan, is because I can't, unless I actually do a 2-panel mosaic, I can't fit the entire bat into my field.
Well, that's the bat is huge. I mean, that's a really large object to fit everything. I could barely fit it in the 400 with the Esprit 80.
Okay.
And eventually I'll go for that if I can find a place without any telephone wires. But it's just really a different. It's to the point where I have a consultant coming in the chat that's going to come and help me out and see if my house has any really use to do anything with astrophotography in it anymore, because I'm really super depressed about the whole situation, because that's a reason why I bought the house. The reason why the people thought I was nuts. They all thought I was nuts. Every single realtor that I met thought I was crazy, because the first thing I did was go right to the backyard with a compass.
Yep.
That's the first thing I did. And I'm sitting there going like this. And measuring distances, 10, 20, 30, 40, and I'm like, I'm looking for Polaris. Okay, that's north. Okay, I got a good I got a good over here, whatever. All right, there's a tree there. I could go around that and all this. There was only one set of wires that went diagonally across, which, over the course of the night, I kind of had to throw out like an hour worth of data, because it was just, the shadows of the telephone lines were like kind of climbing across the screen. But once I was past it, it was fine, as long as the object was not at transit yet and it wasn't coming down. And then it was fine. But now I got 3 sets of wires, one across the north, one across the west, and another across a little bit on the south. So I mean, it's just really, really probably gonna end up drinking more instead of like imaging. I saw
Don't mix the two. It doesn't work well.
Well, I can't image, so I may as well drink. So I mean, Eric, just so you know, you're still on Pixinsight. So just so you know.
Am I? Okay. Yeah. Let me pull that.
But Pete, you had a question regarding your MyT. Do you use periodic? The periodic error correction on your MyT?
Well, the interesting thing with the software BISC mounts, with the SkyX Pro, it already has their PEC training within the software. So it ships from the factory at 7 arc seconds peak to peak. I mean, 3.5 up, 3.5 down. But once you train the with their PEC program, you can get that down to at least right now around about 1 to maybe even less than 1 arc second. I'm right at around about 1 arc second. So for me, there's really no need to actually use periodic, PEC within the PhD2. But it is a real simple program to use. Once again, regarding it, is Bruce Worthington, when they came up with it, it was an algorithm that was actually submitted to them by one of their online viewers. And so what you have to do is you have to literally find out what your worm gear is. Some of them run anywhere from 120 seconds to almost 5 minutes for a worm cycle, but run it for at least a minimum of 3 worm cycles, because what the PEC is doing is it's self-learning. It's going through the first worm cycle and saying, okay, there's going to be an influx right here. And as it goes around the second time, it's self-learning that I'm getting close to that one point where I'm going to have that inflection. Once again, that inflection could be like maybe a burr that didn't get taken care of within that worm. And by the time you run it the third time, it's already knowing ahead of time that it's self-learned, that it knows that at this particular point, I'm going to have to compensate for that inflection. So the longer that you run the worm gear, the more that predictive PEC is actually self-learning. But it is a very good algorithm. And then they've got that other one, that's what the YYZZ. I've never played with that one, but from what I understand, it's a pretty interesting algorithm too that they've actually come up with in PhD 2.
No, sorry. YYZ, sorry. So I'm going to ask the noob question because I think it should be discussed. And Pete, I'm sure you could describe it a lot more efficiently than I can. So these newfangled belt-driven trackers, the mounts, belt-driven mounts, is there a benefit to using PEC on a belt-driven mount?
That's a good question, because belt-driven mounts, once again, it's more for the gearing. When you get a worm gear and you get a gear, because the fact that if you get like a China-made mount or like a Celestron, CGX, they're such mass-produced that you're always going to have a little bit of quality control where they don't really get in there and they don't take out that burr once they actually do the machining on that one particular gear. So what will happen is that a lot of people, that when they start doing their training, they'll notice that they're going to say, wow, why is it that my star, that I got this one big spike? And it's just the fact that you've got poor quality control with mass-produced China-made products. Whereas if you buy like an AP, a 10 micron, a software BISC, if they're machined to very, very high precision tolerances. Now, when you come to belt drive, yeah, that's a whole different question altogether. I mean, there's some pretty interesting belt drives, but eventually, sooner or later, it all depends upon the target that you're going to be imaging, right? We're talking about doing long exposures on, say, low surface brightness targets, something like M33, or in this case, the squid and the bat, or Able 85. Those are going to definitely be at least a minimum of 300 seconds, if not more. So you definitely have to have true guiding for that. And as much as Richard Wright will always say, well, just take a lot of exposures, take 1,000
1 second exposures, yeah.
For those faint targets, I'm going to disagree with them, because you've got to capture as much data as you can. So you've got to definitely have good guiding. So once again, it really is dependent upon what's the target that you're imaging. Is it a high surface brightness target or a low surface brightness target?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was just curious because, I now have 2 belt-driven mounts. I got the EQ8 and the EQ6. And I was just curious to see,
Yeah, no, it was a good question. Yeah, interesting.
No, it's a very good question,
Interesting.
because to Pete's point, especially when it comes to guiding, doing these short exposures, it's not always the answer.
No.
You know, especially when like Chris, like Sean, when you were mentioning, you know, really getting into like say dark nebulae, like I enjoy those, or these certain types of even LBNs. You've really got to go. You got to go long on these guys, and you've got to go. And it's not just going long exposures, like say 300 to 600 seconds. You got to pile that. You got to keep going. You can pile that on, right? You've got go 50 plus hours, or sometimes 25 to 50 hours, what depending on the surface brightness of that target. So I don't necessarily, to Pete's point, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Rich was saying as far as short exposure when you really need to think about the target you're going after. If it was M42 or 45 or something like that, then yeah, sure. But no, some of these others, no. It just really depends.
Well, Sean, I know that you've been getting some really good results doing short exposure, high gain. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
So I've been experimenting. I watched the show with Richard Wright on it, and it intrigued me. I'm not doing short exposures, but I brought my exposure down to 1 minute. I settled on I'm going to do 1 minute exposures, and I do it at high gain. So on the QHY, it's at a gain of 56 is what I'm shooting, and I do that for everything, narrowband and broadband. But I've been shooting the dark nebulae. Like I said, the seahorse I shot and the shark I shot, and I did all that with short exposure 1 minute subs, and there was a lot of it. There was a lot of subs. It took a long time for that data to run through WPPP, but I got some phenomenal results. I got improved, in my opinion anyways, looking at the images. I've got improved resolution because I'm not being subjected to errors in guiding, and I'm not being subjected to the atmosphere turbulence as much for as long when you're doing long exposures versus doing short exposures. So I actually got better stars as well. My stars were more improved. They weren't doing the centers, the cores weren't blowing out like they normally would be with longer exposures, 5 or 10 minute exposures. So I'm a fan of the short exposure at this point. The only drawback to it is the number of files and the size, the amount of data, the amount of storage that's needed. It really does increase the time and demands on resources for your system. So that's one thing. But I was going to do a screen share real quick if I can, if you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I just I have to see how to do that. Where is it?
It should be on the bottom. Looks like a little TV.
Sharing. Yeah, I'll just go over. See if I can share that. So do you see that?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll make it bigger if I can find you.
Yeah, but oh wow.
Oh, so that's the seahorse, and that was all done with 1 minute exposures. And how much data I'd have to look back on the page. Let me see what it says here. What was that? Let's see what it says. So that's 20 hours, a little over 20 hours of data, 1 minute subs at high gain.
Wow.
And I took that into it. Yeah. So I got. That's awesome. That's awesome. Versus the 5 minute and the 10 minute exposures and the drawbacks that I experienced with guiding issues and atmospheric turbulence, the short sub at high gain can, if you're willing to put the time in, and also, put the time in, I mean, with, waiting for things to calibrate and stack and stuff like that, because it takes forever with the amount of files, and you can handle your storage capability, can handle that many files. I definitely would, suggest that people try it at least. It's great. It's a great experiment, and it's been really interesting for me to give it a go and see how well it works. I'll just show you also, just so that we have a comparison. This is the Shark Nebula, and that was also done the same technique, 1 minute subs. 1 minute subs at high gain. And I think it actually turned out really good. There's some fantastic detail there. And the stars are controlled. They're not, they're not blowing out. Got great details, and yeah, definitely something interesting to try if you're thinking about giving it a go.
Absolutely.
And if you want to see some more of Sean's work, you can go to his website at visibledark.ca, and you can check out some of that. And just to add a little bit of clarity, if I can, regarding the numbers, Sean is using a QHY camera, and the gain numbers are quite different than the ZWO cameras. So 56 is a little bit different than what you're used to, where you're at the 100 or 120s on ZWOs. So just do your due diligence when you're making your gain and offset settings when you're dealing with CMOS cameras. That's all.
Good call out. Yeah, because you're using the 268, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
2600.
So it's basically a 2600 then. But yeah, the gain settings are,
well, the firmware is different. So
yeah, the way this calculated, the way they're labeled, it's different. Because high gain for us is 300.
It is a testament to what Sean's going at. Is Sean, you're saying is that you're at a Bortle, what kind of sky? Bortle 5, Bortle 4?
You went from 4 to 6, depending on where you look.
Yeah, it depends where I'm looking, really. But let's just say Bortle 6, Bortle, where the sharks, where I start imaging the shark and then moves over. I'd say from a Bortle 6 to maybe Bortle 5.
Yep. So definitely, I can see using very, very short exposures, but many, many exposures. If you're at a Bortle 1, Bortle 2, yeah, you can definitely, keep that exposure open, take a lot less. But as I said, everything's kind of a trade-off. Once again, it depends upon the ADC. We look at 12-bit, 14-bit, 16-bit cameras, because once again, the full well capacity on those are going to be predicated based upon what the exposure is going to be as well. So, as you said, high gain, yeah, you get a lot more read noise. So it's kind of like finding that balance. But as you said, it's planning that ahead of time. It's doing the due diligence to really plan the target and looking at exactly where it is in terms of your skies and just kind of going through it. But those are beautiful images, gorgeous images.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool there, Sean. So thank you for sharing that, because
it was something that I was interested in experimenting with, so I thought I'd give it a go on that. What percentage higher from Unity are you for the QHY? What is you know what? I'm not even sure what Unity is on the QHY now. I can't think of it offhand.
I don't know, because it's like high low kind of. It's different.
I'm trying to think.
Let's see if I can look it up real quick.
Like, see, I would normally run. I'm just trying to think of the old settings that I use. So I would normally run a gain of 20.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's normal. That's not the photographic. Photographic is 56.
So
it's 56,
so normally I would
25 offset, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So normally I'm running a gain of 20 and an offset of 30. And in the case of the short exposure images, I was running 56 and 30. So a significant difference in gain for the QHY, in the QHY scale anyways.
Have you ever done a sensor analysis with the QHY with a sharp cap or anything like that, so you can figure read noise and...
I haven't done anything like that. It's probably something that I should do. I just want to image. That's really what it boils down to.
And I'm sorry. We did a sensor analysis on my QHY camera.
Did you?
I guess about 2 years ago, on live on the show. Ran outside with the flat panel, the whole thing, and did the whole thing. I didn't listen to the goddamn thing that thing said. Listen, it told me I had to take like 17-second exposures or something like that. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I'm just not. And you know what? Maybe in Portal 12 and a half or whatever the hell I am over here. Maybe that's possible. But you know what? I do 1 to 2 minutes RGB here on Long Island with the monochrome, not with the one shot, with the monochrome, because there's a stark difference between using RGB filters in a monochrome camera in crappy skies as opposed to using a one shot color camera where you're getting everything across the spectrum at once. So you're getting some inherent, and this is going to come out the wrong way, but I'm going to call it inherent light pollution protection, even though it's not. You're just blocking a certain wavelengths out. You're letting only the red in. You're letting only the green. You're only letting the blue. So you're getting some kind of protection out of that. And I don't even use a light pollution filter when I'm shooting mono. I just shoot the mono filters. RGB and the luminance. That's it. And that's what I do. But when you're sitting maybe with a color camera, I would say probably I think I took 30 seconds max from Long Island, from the back of my room, back of my backyard. 30 seconds, that's it. But outside with the mono, I could do 2 minutes. And then when narrow band, I do 5 to 10, depending on what I'm shooting. But we got some unfinished business to take care of. We got to do picture of the week.
Yep.
We got to do Masters of Pixinsight spin, and I want to show off the two paid raffles because we got a bunch of cash that came in this week, and I want to show that. So let's do that really first. Let's see, where is it? Okay, so right now we're doing 2 paid raffles, and one of them, which you're seeing now, is the Eagle Core. I have an Eagle Core unused that was given to me, and we got some people that have bought some. So it's $5 a chance. 5 for 20. You could go on the AstroWorld website and go under raffles. You can find it. Just PayPal me at AW2112 at PayPal, and you can just put the Eagle Core in the content so I know where the money's going. But so we got 16 entries right now. We got 3 or 4 people that have bought tickets for this. So this is for the brand new Eagle Core. For those of you that don't know what the Eagle Core is, it's basically Prima Luce's answer to the ASIR, kinda, where you could use DSLR and shoot. It's a tiny form factor, 4 USB ports, the whole thing. So,
but is it DSLR only? Isn't it DSLR only?
Well, yes, it's DSLR.
No, only DSLR. You can't use any other camera, can you?
Good question. I don't know. I've never used one.
Okay.
Prima Luce Lab Eagle Core. It's a DSLR control unit, but let's see. It looks like it's DSLR only.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but it actually right now the website is showing discontinued. So but it is out there for $5 to $20. It's not a bad investment if you have a DSLR. I also have the Lenovo computers that I have. It's not 12 volt, but they're decent. It's a 500 gigabyte solid state drive, 8 gig of RAM, and a Windows 11 plus the Intel i7 Pro version processor. I got a bunch of little mini computers, and if you want, I'll show them real quick. I do have a bunch of them. Same thing. It's $5. $5 a raffle ticket, and 5 for 20. And here it is. This is the Lenovo right here. It's not 12 volt. You gotta plug it in. But it's it's good for a little mini desktop or whatever, and it works pretty darn awesome. I have 5 of these that I'm selling pretty much or raffling off. So if you want any of these, go to AstroWorld.com and you could definitely sign up and PayPal me for that. Tonight we're giving away a Masters of Pixinsight class. But before we get to that, let's do the image of the week real quick because we haven't done that. So the image of the week, here we go. Here are the images. We got this animation of Jupiter, 3,000 frames. This was done by Jim F, if I remember right, with a astrophysics. This was done with a refractor, which is pretty darn amazing to me. Really nice job. 5x Paramount, 462 UHY camera. Really decent job here. So good job to Mike. Then we got Josh Kovacs. I believe that's the ghost of Cassiopeia here. Really wide field. Art Nebula with Ernie Jacobs. And Trifid, the Northern Trifid. Dave Schaefer. M33 by Mark Murator. And everybody, guys, girls, please vote. 18 answers is pathetic. It's horrible. That's horrible. That's like the lowest we've been in months. We usually have over 30 votes. Please vote for the picture of the month. Gives us a bigger sample size so we can get more votes in. So with that being said, let's see who won the picture of the month. November 11th. And Josh Kovac, that was the Ghost of Cassiopeia.
Congrats, Josh.
That was that one right there.
Good stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, nice.
Nice job to Josh, and sorry to the rest of the other people that put that stuff in there. Mark, 2 down, man. Poor guy. Now, Mark, this guy who did M33, that's Mark Murator. He's a personal friend of mine. Lives down in Virginia. He just got into doing astrophotography within the last 12 months.
That's a good image because it's a low surface target, and he's done a very data capture on that.
Yeah, I actually voted in that, and it was hard. They were all good images, but I actually voted for M33. It was actually really well done, and it was processed beautifully. Great detail in it, good colors. The only thing that maybe it really needed was a little H alpha just to boost some of that little red nebulosity. Yep. Yeah, those knots. But it was actually really well done. When I came down to the bottom and saw that one, I was really impressed with it. And I've been doing astro imaging for quite a while. So for someone that's just getting started, that's fabulous imaging.
Yeah, he went very quickly from. He purchased an 80 doublet from Mia Camera Concepts, the Explore Scientific Essential, and he slowly graduated to the 127. Bought an EQ6R, has a decent camera, has a decent guide scope, did the right things, and he has been just doing. For somebody who's only been doing it 12 months, he's doing very, very extremely well. That's really well done. Yeah, that's really good. I just like to give a shout out. I like to give a shout out there. We got Ben from Australia that's tuned into the show, which I think is pretty cool. Ooh, I think that's our first person from Australia. I think I'm gonna have to look at the Google Analytics and see if that might be our first person from Australia. I think.
Yeah, no, I thought that was pretty neat. Yeah,
Although I
someone
think,
from
and I can't prove it, I think Dylan O'Donnell jumped in once about a year ago, but I think Ben might be our first person. So at least definitely the first person in the chat. I think Dylan was a little stalkerish. He wasn't really saying anything, but I think he kind of jumped in. but question for cell phone imagers. Oh, Billy's Astro, another member. Is it safe to image a solar eclipse with a pair of solar glasses or film over the camera lens?
It's an interesting approach.
I actually did do that.
You did
in 2017. Yep, I'll have to show you my setup. I still have my setup. For my camera, I use the Canon PowerShot, and I had like rigged up. I took a pair of solar glasses and took one lens and mounted it in some cardboard with duct tape into a Leinenkugel 6-pack that I tore apart, and I put it in there. And then the other one I took and made two little filters, one to put on top of my camera and one to put on top of my oldest child's camera, cell phone camera, and it worked. It wasn't good, but it worked. So it didn't burn our cameras out. So
okay, well that's the main thing.
Yeah. So I mean, they weren't great images, but we were taking them. We didn't have them on the PowerShot I had on the tripod, but everything else was not on the tripod. But I was like, here, let's just go ahead, and we just taped it onto the just a little bit on the phone, and just so we could take pictures and say those pictures never saw anything but our phone libraries. They were terrible, but but it worked. So I guess the answer is yes. It's
it was ugly, but it worked.
It was ugly, but it worked. Yes.
But I see Carol Santulis in the chat. You gotta let me know how that AM5 works out for you, because that's heading on the way to Carol. Let's see, 3 pounds. Okay, and so the last thing we got to do is the Masters of Pixinsight. Spin the wheel. That's it. All right, so let's spin the wheel, and then we'll lose our 10 members out of the 30 22 that are watching now. But all right, here we go. Masters of Pixinsight. Next class is December 6th. It's going to be Photons to Photos number 10. So last week we spun twice because Amy Astro actually won a class. That was Wednesday night. And so Greg Meyer won the second class. So we did that. But we have another scheduled class tonight to give away. So here we go for the free Masters of Pixinsight class. Dylan Reese. Oh, wow. Congratulations, Dylan. And
Bloodstone.
I'll be giving you an email real quick. That's Bloodstone. That's him.
That's the Bloodstone.
That's Dylan Reese. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. So the Bloodstone, I'll talk to you online. I always talk to him. So congratulations to Dylan. Well, I'll get you that email, and then you'll get an email from Pete Proul on how to redeem your voucher for a free class. So there you go. And is there anything else I wanted to show real quick? Yeah, just one last thing. Now, for those of you that have not been there yet, I did start making a Astropalooza page, soon to be shown with the logo, because I just got the logo today. But if you go to astroworldweb.com and you go to the home page and you just scroll down just a little bit, it says visit the Astropalooza site right there. Bam. You go there, you can see all the guests. Sorry, Sean, it's in alphabetical order, so the only way I could do it fairly, I think. So Charles Bracken, Nico Carver, Adam Block, Ernie, Josh, Amy Little, Master Pixinsight, Sean. Sean, if you don't like the picture, let me know. I'll change it. But Dr. Sass and Molly Wakeling. And down at the bottom, here is where you enter for the door prizes. Okay, so we got 14 entries. Just use your email, put your email in there, and I gotta add some more because there's gonna be more door prizes coming along. And then there's the agenda. When Sean gives me a title, the title will be there.
Yeah. When I do expect that.
That'll be that'll be like December 9th. I'll get that.
Yeah.
At midnight.
Yeah.
But this is subject to change. Obviously, things do come up. Hey, this is going to be a long day, starting at 2 Eastern and ending at somewhere about 9:30, 10. So it's going to be a long day, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun having all those people on, giving presentations about astrophotography. I'm looking forward to 23 already. I'm, because of the, it might be 2 days in 23. With the amount of people that we got to do this, I didn't think that I would have half these people on here. And it's just so exciting to me. I'm like, I got chills when I think about it. I literally get chills that I got 10, 11 people coming to talk about astrophotography for something that we created as a group. It's awesome, it's pretty freaking awesome, I think. I think it's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
So that's my spiel on Astropalooza. So come on down anytime on the 10th. It's gonna be a day of lots of fun, giveaways at the end. So don't fall asleep. Giveaways again, just in pure AstroWorld form. We wait till the end to give the giveaways because you know what? Got to rack up the like and hit the damn like button. Hit the like button on this thing. What do we got? We got 13 likes. All right, that's not ugly, but it could be, it could be better. I'm gonna like it. There you go. 14. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. 15. There you go. Nice job. You're 16. Thank you. Keep on hitting that like button. Smash it. Smash it. Log in with Log in with 5 different emails. I mean, and hit the smash button.
Don't say smash that like button. I can't stand that. You see all the people that do YouTube videos like smash that like button, smash it. That's like, it's like nails on a chalkboard to be smashed. Yeah. Can't say that. I think I used it one time in a video because I saw it was so popular. I think I used it one time and then it felt really awkward saying it, so I never said it again.
I didn't know it was a thing until you told me because I just said
yeah, they use it all the time. There's so many people that started doing it. Smash that like button and just
really?
I know.
Oh man, maybe I need to start like watching more YouTubes.
Maybe you can actually start watching some videos.
I gotta stop watching like Sean Nielsen and Amy Astro and Dylan O'Donnell and Trevor Jones and actually watch some other people that do stuff other than astrophotography. Maybe.
I got another YouTube account that I use, and it's specifically for marketing and ideas of that nature. And a lot of the creators on in that segment, they say smash that like button.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I hear it all the time.
It's a thing.
Smash that like bell button, that like button. Hit the bell button for notifications, and
Yeah.
I say hit the bell for notifications, but I just didn't know that smash that like button was a thing.
For kids, when the kids at work, when the kids do work on the computer, they have to submit work. And the biggest thing I get with freshmen is they forget to submit their work. They'll do it, but they don't hit the submit button. So I say, don't forget to smash that submit button. And like the first time I said it, I didn't even realize I was saying it. And the kids are like, what? Now, a conscious thing now. It's like, don't forget to smash that submit button.
Miss Winky's a YouTuber.
I think they found me. I honestly think they do. I think they did. It's a new group of freshmen from last year, so I think they found me online. So
that's awesome.
So any point, like a bunch of freshman sounding people get in the chat, yeah, that could be it.
Oh, and just so everybody knows, there is going to be a video on Patreon very soon. I did something at Camera Concepts yesterday when there was no customers, and it was caught on video. And I was doing a video for the HEM27 at the store, and Jeff was watching me do it, and he said it's too Italian, it's too Crazy Eddie kind of thing. But that's what I do. I'm Crazy Eddie. That's my shtick. That's my thing. I'm like, hey, come on, you got to come do this. It's a thing to do, and this thing is awesome. So I did one that is gonna be labeled. I have to put it on Patreon because there's too much profanity in it that I can't put it on YouTube because I will get kicked off. Because so basically I played up the Italian New Yorker kind of thing, and it went on for about 2 minutes, and it got violent at times. So and that's all I'll say about that. But I got some. I don't know if I'm gonna bleep it like I bleeped the last one, but I think I'm just gonna leave it the way it is because it's too darn funny. It's too darn funny.
I would just leave it. Yeah. It's on Patreon anyway.
It's gonna be on Patreon. It's not gonna be anywhere else. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, and the next music video is coming out probably, and it'll be out for Christmas. So.
Oh no! Yeah. Is it a Christmas song?
No, I get it. Although I probably should. I probably should.
You should do a Christmas song. Yeah.
See the clouds, they keep coming.
Oh no! I didn't think to do it right now. Please stop.
Yeah, I got him go. I got it going on in my head now. I got to stop. I guess. You're gonna make me write these lyrics tomorrow. You know that.
You're gonna write right after you get done here. You're gonna go write.
No. I got a long day tomorrow. I got like a semi BS promotion at work, but
yeah, I heard. Yeah, the last time. Yeah, that.
Yeah. The lateral move.
Yeah, the lateral. Yeah.
But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of time. But, all right, fellas. It's like we're 2.5 hours in now. But time to take a nap. I think I need to have my chocolate frosty, and then go to bed. Let's do a real quick final thoughts. Did I smash the scopes? No, I didn't smash the scopes. I know. Listen, I am not Peter Frampton. I don't go around smashing my guitars. I don't do any of that. The Who windmill? No, I don't do that with telescopes. I can't. There was a YouTuber out there, and I won't mention any names, and it wasn't Sean, so we'll just put that out there, that decided to drop a scope from a ladder. It got taken off YouTube real quick. So they got a lot of complaints on that. So it was on and off in about 2 hours. but yeah, no.
I'm surprised. The YouTube took it down, or
no? The person that made it took it down because of the backlash.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So
cancel culture, huh?
No, he's doing fine. He or she is doing fine. But that's all I'll say about that. All right, that's final thoughts again, guys. We another 2.5 hour show. Great job, Eric.
Yeah. No, it's again a great show. Sean, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We always enjoy having you on, man. So
thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're awesome to hang out with us. I really appreciate that. But no, everybody, just have a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves. You can get out imaging, get out there and image. If you can't, crack open a beer and chill out. So have some fun. That's all.
Or some gin.
There you go.
There you go.
Pete?
Sean, I didn't get the chance to ask you, being patriotic as a Canadian that you are, how come you don't wear the poppy today?
Oh yeah, you know what? I do have poppy. It's on my it's on my jacket. It's on my jacket, but yeah, I should be wearing one right now, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure having you on. And Jesse, good to see you again. Eric, always a pleasure. And great time to spend with folks on a Friday night.
Jess?
I'm glad to see you guys. I'm just kind of I'm here tonight. I don't have too much to talk about except for 4 singular pictures I've taken, and just kind of glad to be here. Glad to be able to tonight just kind of kick back and listen to you guys. That's kind of awesome. But just wanted to. And again, Eric, thank you so much for your service, sir. And to all the vets, out there, thank you for everything you do and all that. Yeah. And
appreciate that.
Get out there, Image.
Go Image.
I'm hoping I can. I hope I can. I'll have something to talk about next time I see you guys. So.
Awesome. And then Sean.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's been a great show. Thanks for having me on again. Really appreciate that. It's always great to hang out with you guys and chit chat about the hobby. I think the one takeaway from this show for me is the try new things. Go after those obscure objects. Go off the beaten path. Try different imaging techniques. See what kind of results you get. It's sometimes difficult to do because you don't want to waste a clear night necessarily, but you may be pleasantly surprised with the result that you get, as I was when I started experimenting with short exposures and just taking lots of them and seeing what the results were. And it was just quite a bit different. I was really impressed with it. So yeah, definitely go after those obscure objects and try some different imaging techniques, and hopefully everyone gets some clear skies in order to be able to do that.
Absolutely. And Sean, you have an open visit, whenever you want to come, you're more than welcome to come hang out with us. You have your own login, so you're more than welcome to come in whenever you want. So if you just pop in and just go, hey you, and, I'll throw, hey, how much for the children? But yeah, you're more than welcome to come on whenever you want. You know that. It's pleasure meeting you last month. It was really, really great. Eric, you as well. It was a crazy whirlwind 3 weeks for me with meeting Eric, then Sean and Ron, and going all over Canada and Toronto, and it was going to Lima to drop off the eyepieces in Ohio. It was crazy. But I'm finally home, and 25 pounds later, I'm back. So now I got to lose it all again, and and that's it. But everybody, again, Eric, thank you so much for your service. Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you.
And I think that's all we got tonight. So don't forget, next week we have the LAS fundraiser. So come on in and hang out with us, and go to the GoFundMe page. We'll put the link on the description on the YouTube page, so you'll be able to just go right directly to the LAS and donate to them, because they literally they've only got about 1,500 out of 15,000 that they need, and if anything we could do to help, let's just do it, even if it's $5, $2, it doesn't matter, just so that they could get some of the equipment back that they lost from the spineless person that goes into an observatory and steals a telescope that does from a tax exempt place. It's not like they went to Mount Lemmon or Kip Peak and stole a big telescope. They went to a non-profit little kind of place and took a 14-inch scope that that they'd use for outreach. So let's see whatever we could do would help. But again, thank you everybody for coming and hanging out. Thank you again, Sean, for coming and hanging out with us, and all the rest of you. Jesse, glad to see you. I'm glad to see you're alive after the school week is over.
6 more school days till Thanksgiving. I got this.
There you go. You're almost done. All right, everybody. Well, again,
one last thing. Don't hate the ketchup chips. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Oh man!
All right,
I'm
now you
intrigued,
can
John. I'm
close.
gonna have to try some of these.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What do you
I'm
got against the ketchup chip?
just not a fan. Not a
It's a
fan.
Canadian thing. It's a Canadian thing.
I like
is a
ketchup on
Canadian
my
thing.
burgers. I like ketchup on my fries, but that's where it ends for
John,
me.
do you put gravy on your fries?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You do?
But that I
Okay.
wouldn't even mind. Gravy on the fries. It's kind of like
Gravy on fries is
runoff
good.
from the steak, or runoff, from the potato. It's not that. That's really not as I don't want to say offensive, but it's like it's not as strange to me as ketchup potato chips. I'm sorry.
Chips.
It's a foreign thought to me. And
your expression was priceless when you tried it, though.
I gotta go still frame it and put it on a picture for you.
You should make a GIF of it or something or whatever.
I'll put it on the AstroWorld Christmas cards.
It looked like that first shot of Cuervo 1800 when he was 14 years old. I mean, that look on his face was funny.
Yeah. It's you know what it reminded me of, and I don't like this either. The lime scoops from Tostitos, the hint of lime ones.
Oh, they were not good. No, I know.
Not a fan.
They were not good.
Like, what is this? Just give me salt. Anyway, everybody, have a good night, everybody. Thank you again so much. Take care, everybody. Remember, we'll see you Wednesday night for the LAS fundraiser. And as always, remember to keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you Wednesday night. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Hey, clear skies.